Now, track record, we really should have talked this up front, but like, who are you? Why did you end up in the from US in
Oh,
Africa? That would be
oh my
interesting.
gosh.
Uh,
Yeah, so most of my career has been in technology. So the 90s and 2000s, I was basically living in San Francisco and just doing your typical tech thing. I worked for Cisco and did a bunch of investing in the 2000s, mostly in as an angel and in US tech.
so you already had your
But
exit,
then,
right?
yeah, I never had a Google exit, but I was very lucky and made a little bit of money doing some venture investing in the two. Yeah, I made enough money to do that from my earlier stints, and then from the investing, I made some more off of that. So I was able to do some things, and then I did a little bit of philanthropy. So in 2010, there was an earthquake in Haiti, and I was a volunteer and donor to some water NGOs. And then very quickly, I concluded that the aid and charity wasn't really doing much. And so I said, hey, let's turn this into a business model where I can essentially, um, uh, so these beneficiaries are customers. And so I launched a water infrastructure business with the IFC and FMO, the Dutch Development Bank and the World Bank's investment arm. And then we just did that. Now, I didn't use this term back then, but we were essentially an embedded finance lender. I thought we were doing water, but we were really an embedded finance lender because what we were doing was building these water treatment systems,
Mhm.
giving it to Haitian entrepreneurs. They were setting it up and then selling water in these underserved markets, and we would take a cut. We'd take a percentage of their revenues. That's it.
Mhm.
And that was because if you gave out a loan, exactly what you said earlier happens, right? Like, ooh, well, maybe I'll actually feed my family with this money,
Yeah, right.
and then the money's gone. And so by providing it as a productive asset through which they can make money. So anyway, I got to that, and then it took me a decade before I realized what we were doing was actually access to capital. Then I took the model to Africa, and then was doing a little bit of that in Africa. And that's when I realized that actually all these things that we're seeing, they're all embedded finance businesses. So
Mhm.
we need to figure out a way to help Jim Chu.
It's okay. It's
Sorry,
okay.
you can cut that out.
It's
You can
okay.
help Jim in 2012 figure out a way for him to companies like his to get the capital to scale his business.
So, how long have you been doing this? Have you had like good access from the loans that you lend out to these enterprises?
Yeah, no, so we don't have equity exits, right? We have just kind of the exit or termination
Yeah.
of our agreements with them. So yeah, many. Mind you, there's been a lot of learning that's happened. So that a lot of that learning is, we've lost money, absolutely have. But the portfolios that we were creating now are the ones that have passed, the full due diligence and are ready truly to scale. And will there be losses in those portfolios too? Probably, but I think we've learned enough now over the course of the last 4 or 5 years that we have a good sense of what kind of returns we can deliver.